I've saw a video today that I thought was informative. It's a very concise video. I wanted to share it with you. If you're, it doesn't really matter what faith you're from, and the way I see it. And the reason I say that is that for myself, I watch things like Jay Smith talking about Islam, and over the years I've listened to people talking about Eastern religions, Buddha, uh, Hinduism, etc. I'm happy to listen to people talk about all kind of things like that. But Probably because of uh, in the United States, there's such a pervasive Eastern um, flavor to everything, and it's gotten into the church very easily or successfully, and it's not quite as people don't, there's not as big of a clash because it's already in, okay. It's already pervasive, okay. Whereas Islam is a little bit more, there's the influx of Islamic people from other parts of the world into the United States is a little bit more of a clash of culture in many ways. So you're going to have more discussion between the Christianity and Islam, I think, than you have between Christianity and Hinduism or Buddha, because the Christians just go, oh yeah, peace, and we're all one religion. There's a lot of Christians who say that, and so it's just there. Uh, but I wanted to share this video below. For some reason, in the churches that I attended, uh, they didn't provide much historical support for the existence of Jesus, for his existence or his Christhood. Um, and I don't know, maybe that's because, Christianity had been the worldview of the Western world for hundreds of years. And so maybe the people of the church, those leaders of the church, didn't have eyes open to the fact that things were changing around them. Maybe there was a certain amount of just navel gazing. Hey, we go to church every Sunday and every Wednesday night and whatnot, and our friends are Christian people in the church, and so we're not having a lot to do with the guys in the bars or whatever it might be, So uh, we're not participating in those other discussions. We're not there having that discussion. Maybe it's because in the United States, outside of sending missionaries around the world, that seems to be what churches wanted to do. And your missionary would come and talk to your church, and then they go back and do missions in Africa or South America or whatnot. So you didn't really have a real evangelistic flavor of anything. I mean, the local church was not evangelizing anybody. Um, and then, as I sort of said already, maybe they were just naive about the attacks that were going on, the attacks subverting Christianity, which had been actually going on for over 100 years, almost 200 years, and some of the even in the midst of these great awakenings, the two great awakenings that happened in the United States, there were these um, spurs that would go off that would be unorthodox, and so I mean people were grappling with it and rebelling against traditions and things like that. Um, of whatever religion they were coming out of, or whatever denomination they were coming out of, or whatever. So for me, my church was that I grew up in was focused largely on social gospel, on helping people, right? Uh, and So it's important that we don't let people, we disapprove of gambling because people who participate in gambling, it ruins their lives, blah, blah, blah. We were against drinking because people who drink and become alcoholics, they ruin their lives and their families' lives and things like that. And not really about, you Certainly, they talk about Jesus, but it was a given. Jesus was just the given. Here's the solution, Jesus. You know, and you can see that in all. You can see that in people talking right now. Go over and look at religious TV, and hey, Jesus is the answer. Well, uh, in today's world, people don't even have any idea who Jesus is for the most part. Certainly, unfortunately, a lot of people in the church don't, and certainly the people outside of the church. If you try to have a conversation with an imam or something, he's just going to say, "Well, the Quran says X, Y, Z, and the Quran is the word of God, and that's it." Listen, and nobody's looking any further. You're not having a conversation further than that with a imam in all likelihood, of what I've seen. And when I have seen things, videos of people who having discussions with an imam or another Muslim, they just cut it off, which is not much different than than Christians saying, "Well, it's in the Bible." Well, what does that mean? You got to go learn a lot more about the Bible if you really want to know what you're talking about, and about history. So there's a lot of good evidence, and instead of me, I think I've talked enough so far. I think that you can take a listen to Dr. William Lane Craig. He gives a concise explanation of why the world has chosen to accept the divinity and the lordship of what some want to claim is just a revolutionary Jew of Palestine 2,000 years ago. Uh, so he's talking to Ben Shapiro. And so you can listen to that conversation. If you like Ben Shapiro, you might want to listen to it to see how he's handling things. And otherwise, if you just are sort of curious about, what's the big deal about Jesus? Who's that guy? And it doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim or a Hindu or an agnostic or a New Ager or a witch or whatever you are. If you just want to learn and grow and, listen to it and disagree with it, that's fine. Listen to it. That's all I'm challenging you to do. So if you would please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it if you would. The more people that subscribe, the better. If you'd like, I appreciate you do that. The more people who like it, the better the algorithms work, right? Share it. That's great. And then make a comment. And you can make your own argument against Dr. Craig if you want to do that below. But anyway, for me, I'm just a guy looking for the truth. And I believe from my experience, if you really want to know the truth, and when I say if you want to know the truth, you have to want to know the truth regardless to what the outcome of it is. And that's where I started at. I decided I just want to know what's true. If it's absolutely 180 degrees different than what I currently believed, then bring it on, because what's important is the truth. Pray for the truth, and I feel very confident you will find the truth. So, and I may have another video up on this side. If I do, you'll see it. Okay? Have a good day.